Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Full Potential Show. I'm James Rick, and this is your number one non-boring source for personal development. Today on the line, we have Judith Belmont. I can call her Judy, and so can you. She's a speaker, author of the Swiss Cheese Theory of Life, how to get through life's holes without getting stuck in them. She's also a corporate wellness trainer and a member of NSA. You can learn more about the Swiss Cheese Theory of Life at theswisscheesetheoryoflife.com. Today's show is about how to get through life's holes without getting stuck in them. And it's really for anyone interested in being happier, more reliant, and living the life they deserve. Judy, thank you so much for being on today's show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, let's blast a hole right in the block of cheese here of today's show and talk about what it means to get through the holes without getting stuck in them. It's an interesting theory, and it makes me hungry. Let's talk about it.
Well, even though people wish that life was predictable like American or cream cheese, life is not smooth. Life has holes, and it's how you get through them that counts.
And where did you come up with this theory, Judith?
Well, I have a co-author, Laura Shore, and I was showing her a PowerPoint presentation on a corporate training that I was doing, and that was one of my slides, because I love to use analogies, because I find that that really helps people learn more about themselves and get unstuck from unhealthy patterns.
Yeah, they can really sink their teeth into it.
Exactly. They could take a bite, everything, right? They could have a taste. And my co-author and I were both psychotherapists, and we're also speakers. And so she saw my slide, and she said, that would be a good title for our book, because we had another title, but it wasn't as interesting. Because basically what we train people is how to be happier, how to be healthier, how to feel good, and how to get the kind of life you deserve by thinking clearly. And we actually have a motto, think straight and feel great.
Well, I really like the concept. Now we're going to dive in and unmask what all this cheese business is about. How can you really apply this theory to life so you can get through life in a smoother, easier way, if that's the analogy here? How can you do that?
Well, one thing is to know a little bit about Swiss cheese, okay? And that might help as an analogy. The holes of the cheese are called eyes. Mm-hmm. And so making an analogy to our lives, if we have holes in our lives, we can actually see better, just like the Swiss cheese holes are called eyes. So having those holes in our lives helps us develop insight. If we don't have insight, if we don't have the holes, and if we don't find ways to develop our character by going through life's adversities, we're going to be like the blind Swiss, which is like cheese with no holes. And I call that cheese in denial.
Okay. So the first key is realizing that life is full of holes, full of these adversities, and that gives us perspective.
Right. It gives us insight. And the other fact about the cheese is that the larger the holes, and this is really true, you can look on Wikipedia, the larger the holes, the sweeter the cheese. So the larger the holes in our lives, the larger the obstacles, we can actually make more of our character. Our life can even be sweeter because having gone through it makes us so much stronger.
That's really interesting that it relates well with cheese so good.
Sure does. Right.
All right, so what else here? We've got this block of cheese. We realize that we've got holes in our life. That's going to help us to develop this insight. The larger the holes, the sweeter it is.
Right.
Is there more lessons here that cheese has to teach us?
We have 10 slices of the Swiss cheese theory of life, basically 10 chapters. And using your analogy of that block of cheese, our first chapter is, I actually have it over here, fondue can never turn back into a block of cheese. So this chapter is giving up the habit of regret. Once a block of cheese is made into fondue, there's no getting it back. And as Dale Carnegie said, it's just like sawing sawdust. You can't rework the past and make it better. And all too often people get stuck in holes because they think things should have been better, it could have been better, and life is not fair and it should be fair, and then they get stuck because they keep on expecting that the past is going to be better.
These are really good. Yeah, you cannot go back in time and put these things back together. Time's arrow is always moving forward. I like it.
Exactly.
All right.
And there's a saying that I like, don't look back unless you want to keep on moving that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to visit sometime, but you don't want to live there.
All right, I like these. Let's keep going.
Okay. The second slice is there's no such thing as a perfect slice of cheese. So basically, this is giving up the needs of perfectionism. Because all too often, I see clients, for instance, in my office, who figuratively give themselves a tightrope in life. They are so afraid of making a mistake that they end up being uptight, anxious, depressed, because they fear not being good enough. So what I say is give yourself a plank. Give yourself a big wedge of cheese, not just a little tidbit. And give yourself more of a leeway, because it's only through mistakes that we can have successes.
Yeah, so there's no such thing as a perfect cheese. You got to work with what you've got and make it the best it can be, and enjoy it. Enjoy that cheese.
Exactly.
Okay,
right.
We got some more time. Let's keep rolling through. Is there any specific cheese slices that you would like to emphasize that are really important you'd like folks to get out of today's interview?
The one thing that I went with, the next chapter that I actually is my favorite, is no wine with the cheese, please. And that's wine with a W-H-I-N-E. Because if we do not think clearly, we're not going to be resilient. If we think, oh, that person walked by me and didn't even say anything to me, we could interpret it as, I must have done something wrong, maybe he doesn't like me, and then we're going to feel anxious, depressed. But if we think in more rational ways and say, maybe that person didn't even see me, then we're going to feel better. Too often people make problems for themselves and they get stuck in the holes in their lives because they don't see things clearly. It's like they have dirty glasses.
Yeah, and we do respond to the thought, right? Not the reality. It's always the thought. It's how we've mapped the realities. So it's no wine with the cheese, please. That's W-H-I-N-E.
Exactly.
Okay, so don't complain about it. Just try to get a more upgraded map of reality.
Exactly. And that goes into another slice, which is to be proactive instead of reactive. And that slice of cheese is called in our book, I'll actually have the real one here, is if the cheese is ripe, dig in. Too often people wait for things to happen instead of make them happen. And so a lot of people are afraid of not doing the right thing, or they can't decide, so they procrastinate. And so by being active, we are going to feel more empowered. By waiting for other people to make our lives better, or for things to make our lives better, we're going to often be stuck in a hole.
And going along with the cheese analogy or the food metaphor, if you wait too long for the perfect conditions, you're going to starve. There's a time-sensitive component here of eating when you're hungry.
Very good. I should have used that in my book. I like that.
You can throw it in the back, kind of chapter slice 11. Hey,
all right,
eat when you're hungry. Otherwise, it's going to disappear or it's going to spoil. You know what? We'll brainstorm some more cheese metaphors. I really like this. Well, Judy, where can people get a copy of your book? I mean, it's fun. It's kind of quirky. Why don't you hold up the cover and some sample? Yeah, some of the inside of the book. The Swiss Cheese Theory, and the subtitle is How to Get Through Life's Holes Without Getting Stuck in Them. And why don't we just flip through the book a little bit so you can see? It's it's an easy read. It's one of those, 1 minute manager. One of those. I could see that as being a really hot book.
I hope so. I think so. It's very what we call user friendly. We have tremendous cartoons from a very good cartoonist named Randy Glassbergen, and he has permitted us to use his cartoons and edits. So we have fun, whimsical ideas, and we present it in fun ways. We have, for instance, over here, the Ask the Therapist section. There's me. So there's a question and answer. We have case examples, and we have the Swiss Whiz, who is wise and thinks very clearly. And then we have the Swiss Cheese Fairy, who is the nurturing part of us, who says that we're okay no matter what. So we have all sorts of stuff in this book.
Yeah, Judy, excellent. It's very creative. I love it. It's a lot of fun. And how long is the book?
The book is about 230 pages.
Okay, so
and very easy reading. You're not going to want to put it down.
It's a little meaty, no pun intended.
It's a little cheesy too. And
it's a lot of cheesy.
It's just smile and say cheese. And we actually have a toolkit for you. Each of our cheese slices has a metaphor, a representation of a self-help concept. For instance, we have an eraser, which means that we need erasers because we need to make mistakes. Otherwise, erasers wouldn't have any purpose. So we give you a Swiss cheese toolkit at the end of the book. And this book is actually not out yet. It will be out in the first week in October, and you can get it on the SwissCheeseTheoryOfLife.com. We also have plenty of videos and other information on our website. And of course, you can get it on Amazon and other online and hopefully bookstores too when it's out.
All right, so it's not out yet when we're recording this, but it could be out when you're actually watching this. That's the Swiss Cheese Theory of Life. That's with the word "the" in the beginning. The SwissCheeseTheoryOfLife.com. Going to be on the website. Some resources there. Also on YouTube. Judy, before we wrap up, I understand we're going to give away 3 free blocks of cheese to the first responders. No, it's three wellness self-help manuals. These normally go for $10 each, but because you are a loyal viewer of the Full Potential Show, you're going to be getting these free. Where can they get them, Judy?
Well, you can get them on my website, which is, I actually have this on another website, judithbelmont.com. Which is my name. And what these are is I have written a couple books for therapists on hands-on tools to help clients through the pitfalls in their lives. And this is a client manual I use with my clients, and it's used in corporate wellness programs. So it's chock full of ideas of how to handle stress, think more clearly, and communicate better.
Okay,
so
and they get these at judybelmont.com?
judybelmont.com, or my workplace wellness website, which is worksiteinsights.com.
All right, Judy. Any other
each other.
What's that? Say that.
They all patch into each other. You go on one, you'll find me on others.
All right, Judy. Any other cheese for thought before we wrap up today's show?
Well, I hope that every day you are filled with gratitude and you can smile and say cheese.
I love it. All right, that's Judy Belmont, the Swiss Cheese Theory of Life.com. You can pick up those 3 wellness self-help manuals. They can just go to judybelmont.com, right, Judy?
Thank you very much.
All right, it's been great having you on the show, Judy. And everybody who's watching, be sure to subscribe to more Full Potential shows for great insights like today's and free gifts that you won't find anywhere else but here on the Full Potential Show. Thank you again, Judy, for being on today's show.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
Me too. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, that concludes this week's episode of the Full Potential Show, your #1 non-boring source for personal development. I'm James Rick, and if you want to get more positive programming for your brain absolutely free on a weekly basis, just visit fullpotential.com.
If you like the Full Potential Show, you're going to love the Full Potential Club. What would you like most as a Full Potential Club member? Be 2 to 3 times more productive? Do what you're passionate about? Have more energy? Reduce your work hours? Travel the world? Enjoy an amazing lifestyle on a frugal budget? What if you could do them all? James Rick has been there and done it in ways that few people have. For anyone serious about taking their life or business to the next level, you know you've got to do more than just watch. You've got to do. Join James Rick and other like-minded people for an incredible $10 a month at fullpotential.com/club. Be educated. Be empowered. Be the best version of you. fullpotential.com/club. Try it free for 30 days.